Yvonne Davies is an American political activist, scholar, and author. She emerged as a prominent civil rights and political activist in the 1960s as the leader of the Communist Party in the USA. She is currently in Ghana to participate in an African Women's Writers' Conference, the Yari Yari Ntoasoɔ, where she spoke to TV Africa News on her perspectives on the liberation struggle on the continent.
Living through the late 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, witnessing firsthand the civil rights movement in the United States and later the liberation struggle on the African continent. I mean, when you look back, what is the feeling like?
Well, when I look back at those struggles, I am impressed by my memory of the extent to which they were inextricably connected. I remember the civil rights movement, of course, but there was also the struggle against apartheid, the beginnings of the struggle against apartheid. I remember growing up in the most segregated city of the United States, Birmingham, Alabama, and learning about South Africa because people said we lived in the Johannesburg of the South. And then, of course, as an activist in the Black Liberation Movement, who did we read? We read Nkrumah. Of course, we read Du Bois. We read Frantz Fanon. We were inspired by Amilcar Cabral. So I can't distinguish between our struggle within the United States and what was going on the continent. It was an internationalism that inspired us. We were convinced that it was possible to win a revolution in the United States because, after all, Ghana had achieved its independence, and in Cuba they had achieved a revolution 90 miles from the shores of the U.S. So it was an era during which internationalism was prominent. And I sometimes regret that we don't have that same sense of connectedness today, although, of course, this is another era and we have to build it anew in a different way.
She commended Ghana for her contribution to the empowerment of black people and the continuing struggle for the emancipation of blacks in Africa and the diaspora. She recounted the support and efforts of Ghana during her trial in 1970 in the USA and the challenges she faced against the repressive state apparatus.
The one